Hey there, YouTube. How you doing? I haven't made any real videos for a little while, other than a little video last week of me and some friends doing some target practice, which is always a blast. Um, that was 2 weeks ago, I think. I did get me a 22 long rifle that I'm in love with. Everybody is in love with this thing. Between all the 30-30s and 9 millimeters and everything else we got around here, this 22 long rifle is by far the best purchase that I think I've made. The ammo is economical, uh, usage is easy, no kickback, low kickback, so it's still deadly. If you're hungry, 22 rifle has fed many families for many, many centuries, especially here in this country. Great land of the free. Not. Anyway, got a few things around the house and the yard that I thought maybe I would share with you. I don't like to share too much, um, for obvious reasons, but just one of those little videos letting you know that no, you're not the only one. Um, I just think that again, we have to be responsible for ourselves, and I don't care if you are prepping for an EMP attack, an economic collapse, government takedown, um, whatever, floods, whatever you're prepping for, um, is not so much the reason as who you're prepping for. And for me, I'm prepping not only for myself, but for my children and their children. Hopefully, if we would be to have a state of emergency in my location, no matter what the cause, again, no matter what, I've got the means and the capability to sustain us for a little while. I kind of joke about the whole government thing. It's really not funny, but especially the fact that I'm a military mother, sister, daughter, granddaughter, and great granddaughter. I'm very patriotic. I love my country. There's just things going on right now that, quite frankly, are scaring the shit out of me. And if you haven't watched some of the people that I'm subscribed to, please check out their channels. Get some eye-opening information that CNN and MSNBC are not going to share with you because they got to keep up those advertisements and they've got to keep up those finances coming in from government subsidized programming or what have you. So they're not going to tell you anything that the um, elite don't want them to tell you. And even at that, a lot of times what they do project is kind of twisted. I've been there, I've seen it. Okay, it's not a fantasy. I participated in some Occupy protests, and I saw what's really happening, and I saw how the media portrayed it. And it's just one example of something that I saw firsthand with my own two eyes. And I think that changed me because in my core, what I was doing was trying to, I don't want to say protest, that's not really the word. What I was doing was I felt like I was in a forum where I could shout out to those people that we've elected and we pay their salaries who work for us. I thought I was going to be able to express myself, be heard. And, it's very, very disappointing when you have several hundred people come together and the news reports you as 50 to 100. When you have people that are kettled in by police and the news reports that there were instigators. When you see police try to pull a man across the wall so that they can arrest him because then he would be at the location they told him not to be at, and you see another group of people pulling that man back towards them across the wall into safety, and that's not on the news. Seeing these things firsthand did nothing more than enable me to look at some of these other news stories and search for the people themselves and find their videos on the internet and hear it come from their mouths what they saw firsthand, what happened. And we've got churches, people gathering with friends, serving them tomatoes from their gardens, and they're having their food taken and destroyed because they're being terrorists, because they didn't get their tomato FDA approved, even though we all know that the approval process includes the allowance of genetically modified crap that kills us, that kills the bees, that kills the environment, that makes us sterile, that makes our children sterile, that will make our grandbabies look like freak. It's the scariest that I can't even articulate to you. Let's just, okay. Sorry about that. I'm back. I get a little fired up about this stuff. Um, Without sounding like too much of a freakazoid. Because if you have not educated yourself, if you have not pursued information, true information, then you don't know some of these things, or you do not believe them. But I am telling you that they have taken DNA in food supplies, spliced them with, I don't even want to really, you need to go look up genetically modified foods in Monsanto. Um, we have a man that claims to be our president, and I'm not sure what government it is that he is president of, but it's not the government I grew up with, and maybe the world's not the world I grew up with either. But, right now we've got nuclear warheads pointed at us. We've got this insane nut job of a leader in North Korea that no matter what we or anyone in the world does, he's just going to continue pushing his insanity. The man is insane. This Kim Jong Chow or whatever is the son of Kim Jong Il. I can't believe I even remember that. You got the whole Iran thing going on. Um, China's getting a little perturbed and upset. Russia's getting their feathers ruffled. The world is falling apart politically, economically as well as politically. Economically, you can have an economic clash, but if your political world is holding up, people can help each other, and the government can help, and there's not any way for anybody to help any of us right now except for ourselves, and this is why I prep. Um, we get this crazy son of a gun over there in North Korea acting up just a little bit more. And let me tell you what, guys, the dateline that he gave to everybody is coming up here. I believe he said he was going to do this missile somewhere between the 14th and the 16th or something. And he does that, whoa, we will be in war again with North Korea. And the Iranian situation keeps brewing. We just don't want this. We might think we want this. There's people in this country that think we want this, and there's people in power that think we want this. We do not want this fight. I'm telling you, we do not want it. And there are nuclear weapons facing us every day, and if they would be to shoot something at us, yes, we have missile programs that we would launch so that before impact, we would hit those missiles. But what would happen is those missiles would then be detonated in our atmosphere just above us. And that is where the EMP issue would come in. A lot of people, I hear a lot of people talking about somebody just purposefully shooting it for the EMP. And maybe somebody would do that. But I think ultimately what it actually would be is them knowing if they shot at us, we would shoot back, intercept the missile, and it would still explode, and it would explode in our upper atmosphere above us. The fallout, yes, the electrical grid will go down. You know what? I don't think there's a single adult in this country who has not lost power for one day or a week or more due to blizzards or hurricanes or what have you. So, We all know how to get by for a couple of days without electricity. That's really not the issue. The issue is the internet communication. The emergency guys, the EMTs, volunteer fire department, trying to communicate with the police, trying to communicate with the government, trying to find out what's going on, what do we do. All that will be hysterical. That'll be just a complete catastrophe, but it's not going to pale. It'll pale in comparison to the fallout that will then come down from this nuclear blast. Um, last 24 hours, volcanic activity along the western Pacific coast has been crazy. You know, you got to keep in mind every religion, every civilization, they've all predicted the end times. Some have predicted it more precisely than others, but nonetheless, doesn't matter what culture you walk from, somewhere in your history there is a story of Armageddon and the earth breaking apart. And so we've got to keep that in mind. Somebody somewhere knew something. Um, I've got friends that have been out of work for a year and a half, 2 years. They were always hardworking, tax-paying citizens, good, solid American labor. You know, get up at the crack of dawn, put in your 10-hour day, go home, eat your dinner, watch the nightly news, watch Family Feud, go to bed, do it again. They want to work. There is no work. I don't give a rat's ass what news story you saw last night when you were watching NBC. There are no damn jobs, not worth anything. I've seen people on the side of the street taking minimum wage jobs, holding up signs because it's cheaper for the stores to advertise that way than to pay for an actual advertisement. And this person is so desperate for work, they're willing to stay on the side of the road holding a sign up, you know, clearance, um, store closing, and food prices. I was in 2 weeks ago, I was in a big box store, a wholesale store, and I was in the meat section, which has always been a wonderful meat section, great prices, great meat. There was an $85 piece of meat in there. And you all, it was no bigger, okay, than any other standard roast that I've seen. And then 3 steaks for $55. I just like, and let's not forget the fact that all of our Gulf shrimp is poisoned with the I don't want to hear anybody denying it. Okay, if you're denying it, well then again, you're just uneducated. But you know, your shrimp is full of all the chemicals that, due to the BP oil spill cleanup, you've got fish coming in off the Pacific coast that have radiation in them from Fukushima, which is still going on. Guess what? They didn't clean it up a year ago. No, it's still been going on, and they're already they're saying, not already, but after all this time, they're saying to the UN, hey, we might need some help here because the world could be in for it. You've got arsenic in the chicken feed, which puts it into the chicken, which puts it into you. Pink slime. Beef is being fed genetically modified corn, and it's passing it on to you, and you're passing it on to your children. I mean, our food supply is in such a precarious situation right now that the economy could fix itself. We could all have peace, love, and no wars, and the earth not crack open, and we are still screwed. So, again, you want to know, why do I prep? That's why. Because no matter what direction I look or what direction I turn, we got a problem. We got a serious problem. And any one of these problems could crack at any moment. And they could all do a domino effect, and they could all happen. I don't know what's going to happen to the world that my grandson was born into. But it scares the hell out of me. And it makes me very sad. And so I spend a little extra time, you know, in the grocery store. If I see a buy one, get one free, I buy one and I get one free. And yeah, I target practice. I shoot my gun. It does not make me a terrorist. It makes me a responsible citizen of a country that was given orders by one of the founding fathers to maintain arms with the civilians. And, I grow my little gardens. Oh no, call the FDA, hurry up. Jesus Christ, people. I don't know how much further, we're going to let this go. I don't understand at what point, will someone step up and lead our men to save our country and the republic again and save our children. And I hope that when catastrophe hits, I hope that I'm able to maintain a safe haven for people for rest and food and medical attention, people that I know and love, of course, so that others can go out and fight on a battlefront of whatever that battle is that we're facing. Enjoy while you can, everybody. Life's pretty short, and the world as we know it's about to end.